Time cells in human brains encode the flow of time according to the findings from a study. How does the human brain keep track of the order of events in a sequence? Researchers suggest that time cells, neurons in the hippocampus thought to represent temporal information, could be the glue that sticks our memories together in the right sequence so that we can properly recall the correct order in which things happen. Evidence for these kinds of sequence tracking time cells has previously been found in rats, where specific neurons assemblies are thought to support the recollection of events and the planning of action sequences. But for a long time, less was known about how episodic memory is encoded in the human brain. To investigate, a team of researchers led by neuroscientist Leila Reddy from the Brain and Cognition Center, CERCO in France, monitored electrical activity in the brains of 15 epilepsy patients using microelectrodes implanted in the hippocampus. Creating episodic memories requires linking together distinct events of an experience with temporal fidelity, the researchers explained. Given the importance of the hippocampus in sequence order learning and temporal order judgments, we tested whether human hippocampus neurons represented temporal information while participants learned the order of a sequence of items. The experiments were conducted during medical tests that used the electrodes to localize the source of their seizures in the brain. As a result, the research did not require any invasive or risky implantations that the patient would already be undergoing for the purpose of a prospective epilepsy treatment. In the experiments, the participants were presented with a sequence of images and a predetermined order and were asked to memorize the sequence. During the sessions, the electrodes recorded specific neurons in the hippocampus firing in response to the experiment, both during specific moments as images were displayed, during gaps when no images were shown, and at pauses where participants were asked to predict what image would be shown next from a sequence already displayed. According to the researchers, the neurons involved their evidence of time cells, neurons whose activity is modulated by temporal context within a well-defined time window. The researchers said some of these neurons were actively engaged in memorizing or recalling the sequence of images in the experiments, but some were also active when no visual stimulus was present, suggesting they were encoding the flow of time even when nothing particular was happening. Time cells were observed to fire at successive moments in the blank periods, researchers explained in their paper. Temporal modulation during these gap periods could not have been driven by external events. Rather, they appeared to represent an evolving temporal signal as a result of changes in the patient's experience during this time of waiting. According to researchers, time cells in the human brain are multidimensional, capable of encoding information in relation to time, but also responding to different kinds of sensory information or stimuli. It's possible, the team thinks, that the multidimensional behavior of these time neurons might be what records the what, where, and when of experiences, stitching elements together to make up coherent memories from a jumble of inputs. The researcher said the phenomenon of subjective mental time travel is a cornerstone of episodic memory. Central to our experience of reliving the past is our ability to vividly recall specific events that occurred at a specific place at a specific temporal order. Our results provide further evidence that human hippocampal neurons represent the flow of time in an experience. The findings were reported in Journal of Neuroscience, and this is on Science Alert by Peter Dockrell. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.